All right, welcome everybody to week 18, day 1. Technically, it's finals week, but we're not doing any classes today. It's just an opportunity for you to present your work. So I'm going to call on you one at a time. You can present your mod first, your project first. If you want, you can do it on Thursday instead. It's all good. I figure you might as well get it out of the way now. So we'll go Spraggins first. So what you'll do is you'll share your screen. I'll need to unmute you and stuff. Spraggins, can you say something? Spraggins, I can hear you typing.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna do push to talk.
Push to talk, right? Yeah, there's an option too if you want Stover. So yeah, it's just an opportunity to just show off what you guys have done this semester, and I'm a pretty lenient grader. I don't know if I can grade right now because here's Canvas. So stupid Amazon AWS is. Let's see if they've come back up. Let me refresh this. We're sorry, but something went wrong. Fantastic. That's what I like to see when I'm writing a final kind of test. I like it when it loses my data. That's super cool.
Oh, Unreal wouldn't start for me, and I dumped all my temp accounts and restarted my computer, and then it updated. Oh man.
Yeah. Canvas is a big sad right now.
Yeah, they're trying to fix it in web design and marketing.
Is it our fault? I thought it was Amazon's fault, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
It's bootstrap for
just
with the AWS.
That's what I like to see. And it's so frustrating because this isn't the first time it's happened either, right? Like the whole reason of moving into the cloud is so you have essentially infinite, compute power and bandwidth on tap. And this happened, I think, was it a year ago? Or was it 2 years ago? Same thing?
And I build mobile apps now and on Bubble. It's flawless, but it's from AWS.
Still loading.
And then to top that off, they never would fix the employee time clock plus that I have to clock into. So sometimes my employer would have to clock it for me. But yeah, anyway. I can share my screen, I guess.
Yeah, go for it.
I wanted to make some other stuff before I showed it, but I'll just show it.
Okay, go for it. I don't know if I'll be able to give you a grade because it's still loading. Yay! Super fantastic job, Jeff Bezos. Never change. All right, so try sharing your screen. I don't know if you need permissions or something on it.
It just says profile mention mute deafen edit server profile.
Wait,
yeah, screen.
Can you share your screen? If not, we could go into office hours, I guess, technically, because students are unrestricted in office hours. Okay, there we go. We got you. All right.
Now, if mouse 4 doesn't conflict with any buttons on here, I guess I'll just talk when I need to.
All right, full screen, and take it away. Tell me about your game.
Okay, so my game was kind of based off the first Nazi zombies, if anyone remembers that from the World War One, Call of Duty Nazi zombies thing. You kind of start in this tiny little area, and I made it to where you could just stay in here because, Kearney's seen it. They can get really vicious and kill you quickly. So this reset button will rebuild these blocks instead of the rebuilding of a wooden wall like Nazi zombies.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can escape.
Like the barricades you could put up.
Right, you can escape through here, and I just couldn't figure out how to compile out of bounds where I can get the U1 screen right here if you escape. But otherwise, it's hard to escape already. And then I wanted to make their eye sockets. My wife had a good idea of making their eye sockets very bright, so they kind of blind you into a blurry game over screen instead of slicing and dicing you. But I just couldn't get it to compile before presentation.
Okay, well, just show us what you got. Hit play. And,
okay.
We'll take a look. So these shootable blocks that you're doing right here, they came from a demo, right?
Yes, so I did start off with a tutorial to help me, and this one was kind of fun to build. And then I just kind of kept going from there. And this was fun because you could press that reset button. So like if they start getting in and you start blasting away, and if it gets too intense, then which it will. And I forgot to get rid of the line tracing. Dang it! You can press the reset button, boom, and then you're safe until you're ready to exit.
Mhm.
And once you exit, it can be a little difficult. So I'm gonna stop talking and try to exit real quick and see if I can make it.
Infinite respawning zombies.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot. Oh man.
Are they faster than you?
Oh yeah, they're fast. But they haven't hit me yet. And then right there, I wanted a U1 screen. I was trying to use because they stopped going right there.
Yeah. You need a box trigger and on touch on the box trigger set the player's escaped variable. Not a level bounds. Undo that. Do a box trigger. Yeah. It's box collision sometimes called. Yeah, so just put that over the area where you want the person to escape to.
Okay, so this would be it, right? When you get through there.
Well, you need put it over the door. Put it over the doorway, like.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Camera speed's all intense.
Mm-hmm. If you're going to do that, then scale it a little bit thicker because you don't want the player to be able to sneak out without the box trigger. You know.
True.
So there's a lot of glitches in video games where you can like avoid cutscenes and things like that by like carefully like wedging yourself around a wall, things like that. To speedrunners and stuff like that go crazy for that kind of stuff. So yeah,
especially
make sure
like clipping through walls too, right?
Yeah. Like in Breath of the Wild, they clip through walls to avoid the cutscenes for like opening doors and things like that. A little more. You don't want to have any gap whatsoever. There you go. Okay. So then click on Blueprint Add Script. We'll do a little quick lesson here. No, to the right hand side, right middle where it says Blueprint Add Script. Yeah, so you're gonna make a new one called Game Over Trigger something along those lines. Sure. Okay. Just leave everything else as the default. Unreal Engine's defaults are usually pretty good. Okay, so here's your thing. Now go to the event graph, and you should have an event begin overlap. There it is. Pull off that, and really what you can do is you can just create widget here. I would.
I already have one for U1.
Oh, you do? Okay, all right. Game one screen. There you go. Yeah, and then add and not cast to viewport. Just add to viewport. There you go. And attach the blue pins. So have the widget you created get passed to the viewport like that. Mm-hmm. And then pause the game, I guess. I don't know. Just call it a day. No. Like actually drag out from add to viewport. From add to viewport. Drag out from that white pen there, and just go like pause. I don't know. Like there's better ways of doing this, but just set game pause to be true. Click the checkbox. There you go. Yeah, just do that, and then compile, save. Yeah, game over. Yeah, there's better ways of doing it. It's like if you're just trying to do something quick and dirty, like that's just a super easy way of doing it. So compile, save. There you go. Close it. Or tap it, and then play the game again.
They tend to go off over here at first.
So they're yeah, okay.
Found a mini exploit.
Yeah.
But man, when they get close enough, I think it's 3 hits and it's over.
You never added sprinting?
No,
Yeah, we did
just
that
kept
earlier.
designing the level and stuff.
We did that earlier in the semester. If you want to look up how to do that,
I
basically
would like to, yes.
on shift.
Oh,
There,
wow, nice.
there it is. Well done. All right, round of applause, everybody, for Spraggins. And yeah, so you got a destructible wall. I know you're wanting to make so go over to your destructible wall. That came from a tutorial. Zoom in on the destructible wall.
No, just this.
Yeah. Zoom in on that. Yeah, like move the camera over there. That's what I'm saying. So it would be fun to maybe have more of the world be destructible. Spraggins has his nav mesh, by the way, set to be dynamic, which means that it will update in real time. If you look right now, you see how the nav mesh, move your cursor underneath the wall, Spraggins. Like, no, go back where you were. Just move your mouse. Look at the bottom of the wall. Yeah, you guys, move your finger, or the cursor, move your mouse cursor underneath the wall. No, just move your mouse underneath the wall. You guys see how there's no nav mesh connecting the inside to the outside right now?
Yeah, it's built like a little underneath so that it actually connects, and then the rest of the world connects with it, even on top.
Yeah, the trick here is that when you first made it, if you destroy that wall, they wouldn't path through because the nav mesh doesn't connect. And so if you go into the project settings, you can set your nav mesh to be dynamic, which will allow it to redo the nav mesh in real time. And so there's a cost to it, but for a game like this, it's pretty essential. So
yeah, that was pretty big. I remember us having trouble. We had to put this kind of in this perfect spot where they would get through, and then after that, boom, they're in here. And that was the main point of the game. Was like, it's so intense already that I know they're gonna come over here first. So that's a little exploit I found. So I escape out of here usually and run this way, but I know the game.
Yeah, if what I would probably do if I was in your shoes next is just to move the spawn points for the zombies around in like a circle, like so.
I wanted to do that, but I was afraid that before I did this presentation, they would
break something,
be spawning horribly.
It's
but
fine.
I wanted to move them, just like you said, like put one there, because there's 10 of them.
Right.
So maybe
Yeah, well, now that you've done your presentation, you're free to break it, without worry. I would just move the zombies around, and then rather than just like a quick little jaunt to an exit, I would probably have more destructible walls and things like that, so that you would have to carve your way through the world to escape, which would be kind of fun actually.
Instead of having to build the world where I can get through it, and I wanted to make it more of a maze, but still, I think the destructible part would have been better. I agree.
And then the textures on your walls are super stretched out, and so the solution for that is to adjust the tiling parameter. So if you have a material, I would do a material instance of it with the tiling level being a parameter, and then you could instance different materials with different. You have it right there. UV tile, right there to the right. Move up there. Yeah, so you can change the U and the V tiling levels, and drag it up a little bit, and you'll see it looks a little better because super stretched textures like that is like the kinds of things that gamers are rather unforgiving about. You want it to look at least plausible or something. And the even better way of doing that, of course, is
that already kind of looks better, I think.
So go on outside, and I would probably change those destructible blocks. Oh, you got lit up, dude.
Yeah, it's a hard game.
Yeah. I would probably have a different instance for the big stretched out walls like that, and then just adjust the tiling parameters on them.
Can you elaborate on that real quick? I'm sorry.
So you see how you have or you can just make your walls smaller, right? Because right now you have one wall that's super big. So just shrink it down and have multiple walls. Then you have to worry about seams and things like that. So what I would do instead is if you right click on your texture, your material, right click, and then choose create material instance, top option, and then call it, I don't know, whatever. Yeah. Sure. Okay, then double click on it, and then overwrite the UV tile U and V mid tier there, and there, and then change the tiling level up to, I don't know, 10 times as higher, like 20 and 20 or something like that. And then save, and then that's fine. Leave that one alone, and then go back into the world and drag that material instance over the wall, and then zoom in on it, and you'll see.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and so the tiling, the vertical tiling is like way too high. So, no, yeah.
I was gonna say it could be way smoother if maybe I did like 10.
Yeah, double click on. Yeah, there you go. And then the vertical tiling, like not so much because it's stretched out vertically. Or sorry, horizontally, it's not stretched out vertically. So you just play with those values, and and when you go back out, you'll see it updates. And in fact, if you drag the tab off to the side, watch, snap the tab off and pull it out. Yeah, like that, and then click over to the world. And now go down to there, and you can actually drag those values around, like click and drag, like on the slider. Yeah. Did you change the material on it? Yeah, put brick broken back on that wall there. Drag out the material brick broken onto the wall. The one, the very left, that one. Yeah. Drag that one. Yep, that one. Drag it onto the wall. There you go. And then as you drag those values up and down, you'll see the tiling update in the game, and so you can just kind of look at it and play with the values until they look good. So, little Unreal Engine. Yep. So you just kind of sit there and play with that to your heart's content. Yeah. So that's fixing tiling. The nav mesh stuff I think was a good lesson for everybody. If you want to show people how to do that, it's edit project settings. Edit project settings. Scroll down to nav mesh. There it is, up there, and scroll down, or it might be nav system, one of those two. There it is. So scroll down. Runtime generation dynamic. So if any of you guys want to have your AI work with, like if you have moving, like a bridge that comes down or something like that, and it needs to recompute the nav mesh across it, that's how you do that. So, yeah, with doors and things like that, because it's a pretty common problem, because it's normally a static nav mesh, and if it's blocked, even if the door vanishes or whatever. So,
did you want to talk about axis mapping as well? Because I learned that through.
I think they should. No, axis mapping. Shoot should be an action mapping instead of an axis mapping. Yeah, I think they know how to do key binds and things like that. Okay, so I would probably have that be. An action map, because action mappings are either they're on or they're off, and axis mappings are for like joysticks and things like that. So if you click on move forward, for example, you see that's either on or off, I guess. But like if you had a thumbstick, then you can have like halfway forward.
There's options. Sorry to interrupt. There is options for like a gamepad, which I was gonna do as well because I have an Xbox controller.
Oh, nice, yeah. All right, cool. All right, thank you, Spraggins. And then you want to show off your mod now, or you want to do that on Thursday?
I wanted to finish the blood splatter thing if possible, but I could show it off now.
No, do it on Thursday then. Do it on Thursday. We'll give other people a chance to present too. All right. Okay. Again, clap emoji. Good job. Bell Walker, you guys have any comments on it? Yeah.
Anything?
What's that?
I said, please, any comments or feedback or anything? What do you guys think?
Yeah,
anything I could have done better, and Kearney helped a lot too. So ran
yeah.
a lot of stuff as
I
well.
could see it as like a good proof of concept of an actual game. You know, there's games like Red Faction, I think is what it's called, right?
Yeah, and that could definitely be bigger for sure. This was just kind of like a. I was trying to figure out could it be a maze, and then Nazi zombies was so small on that first one, you know. So I wanted it to be small at first, and then move on to level two, and it gets bigger and bigger, you know.
Right. Yeah, Red Faction's a series that's known for its destructible walls and things like that, which make it quite different from most first-person shooters. You could throw a grenade, blow a hole in a wall, and shoot somebody from behind, which it's a lot of fun actually. Like you see, this is back in like the Half-Life one era days. You sit there and count the triangles and stuff like that. But they've made a bunch of games in the series.
Yes,
Um,
Duncan, thank you for the feedback. I agree, like that. I wanted to move them around, like I said before, but I was so afraid of it breaking right before the presentation, you know. But otherwise, it didn't though. I moved them around and it was fun because the node is getting the location of the AI, so it's not dependent on the longitude latitude, right? So when they respawn from where they started, right?
mhm.
So it wouldn't have mattered. I could have moved them around and it wouldn't have broken it, right?
Yeah, the right now they just save their location when they're spawned, and so a more professional way of doing that would be to have spawn points around the world and to randomly select from them or something like that. So I can show you guys how to do that if you want. But let's see if anybody else wants to um, data oriented design.
No,
Um,
I'm reading all this stuff because like I would like to build on it further too.
okay, Gutierrez, you are up. Okay, thank you, Spraggins, and we'll switch over to Gutierrez.
Thank you too.
Thanks. Gutierrez, you are now unmuted. Go ahead and say hi if you can. Hello, Gutierrez. Yep. No. Yeah. Can't hear you. It says you're speaking, but nothing's coming out. I tried going without it in Construct 2 for my shoot 'em up. I don't know what that means. Oh, I heard a click. Unmute you again. All right. You're not muted. Turn your volume all the way up. No, you muted yourself. Farming Simulator 20. Have you guys ever seen that game, Farming Simulator? How much DLC there is for it? I keep hearing. I'm hearing clicks from you, Gutierrez. People, I don't know. I don't get it. It's one of those. It's like Euro Truck Simulator, and I don't know. Like it's a whole genre. Like I just don't really comprehend. You know, Football Manager because
Okay, I think
there
it's
you go.
working.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do push talk too because my family's loud.
Yeah, I gotcha. All right.
I'm gonna do my mod first.
All right. Go ahead and share your screen. You mean you never wanted to be a farmer? I mean, not in a video game. Yeah. Like I played Harvest Moon for about 3 days, and I was like, "Oh, it's so boring. I don't want to walk around doing chores and watering plants and pulling out weeds in a video game. It's not fun." PC Building Simulator. All right, there we go. You're up. All right, watch stream. And did that not pop? Why did that not pop up? Okay, there we go. No.
Okay, I'm launching the mod right now.
There? Okay. Gotcha. Alright.
I modded Minecraft.
Override and
Yeah, probably should have chosen a better key.
All right, so you're using Fabric to do the modding?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. All right. The monetization is absurd. Yeah, like thousands of dollars or something like that if you buy it, the complete set. Check that out. Farming Simulator.
Okay, I put my push to talk as my mouse.
Okay. All the DLC. Only $116. It's not as bad as I remember it. No, I guess not.
Okay, so I added a new block, and all of what I added is kind of tied together. So this, I forgot to rename them. Well, I'll do that later. This is a new loot item that you would find in dungeons, chests, and it's just called a blob, and it can be used to make these, which are just a decoration item, and then you can also cook them.
Okay.
And I just added it as a food, like a really good food, because they're pretty rare to get. So it gives you it gives you the most health and most, not the most health, the most food and saturation. And it also gives you a status effect. Which is glowing and resistance 5. So it has a downside to it too, which is it makes your character glow. So if you use this in like PvP or anything like that, it would make your character be able to be seen from any enemies.
Mm-hmm.
But it also gives you resistance 5, so it makes you a lot more tanky.
Nice. For 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
And then it gives, I think, it gives 5 bars of health.
Nice. Did you make this map or?
Yeah, I made it in Paint.net.
Okay. So you didn't put all those blocks for the roofs and everything down?
Yeah, I did I made all the textures.
Nice. Very cool. All right. Very, very nice. All right. Round of applause, everybody. See if the grade book is ever loaded. Nope. Still loading. I'll just write it down on Notepad like a plebeian or something. I don't know. All right. All right. You want to show off your Unreal project?
Yeah, I'll get that going right now.
All right. Cool.
Okay, this is just my main menu world, so I'll launch it in standalone because it's already pretty much done. So this game is kind of similar to the first one that Spragan showed off. It's a zombie escape type thing.
Okay.
I can show it off while it's loading. So this is kind of like a test map, just to test stuff out. I use for my enemies. I used an AI system because I didn't like how it was coming out with my just with blueprints. So I used an AI controller, and I spent a while messing with that. And this is the gun selection. I added a whole weapon system that I spent a lot of time on that.
Nice.
Probably shouldn't have. My ADHD kind of hyperfix onto it, so that was fun.
Very
but
cool.
I could show. Yeah. And then these are health packs. I don't think I implemented these yet, but yeah, those are there. They work fine. You just go towards them, and it'll heal you up.
What are the telephone poles do?
It's for the map. I was trying to line them up good. They were kind of being a pain. Okay,
Oh, cool.
here we go. So I added a main menu just because I thought it would. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there is also in-game music, just some like
not
16-bit
coming
music.
I can't. Yeah, I can't hear it. Sorry.
Okay, but this is the game. So this is where you start out. I was gonna do a random spawn in system, but I decided to have it set so that way it could be more. I guess you progress a certain way. This is one. I think this is the main zombie model. But there's multiple death animations, and there's also there's different hit animations and all that. I think there's like 10 total for each thing. But I added this here because I didn't want to just use the pistol. And then I also added this up here. It's a secret. But yeah.
Can you mantle up?
No.
Gotcha.
You can hold, I think, 2 guns and a pistol at the same time, and then you can also hold a knife all at the same time. And then you can switch through it with your keys or put it away. And there's also a walking mechanic, a sprinting mechanic, and then just a regular run.
Nice. Very nice.
And I had some trouble that I had to ask you about because I couldn't figure it out. My game was doing something weird where when you would shoot, it would kind of just break the gun system. So I had to fix that. So now you can't shoot while jumping.
Interesting.
But so you come out the door, and then they're pre-spawned because I wanted to have them pre-spawned. But there's a few secrets, like back here. If you jump back here, and it got covered up when I was messing with my map. Oh, that sucks. 1 second. But yeah, I think total, I was going to add more. I think there's 3 zombies that are implemented incorrectly, and then there's a 4th that's like half finished, but I didn't. But this is the way to have you win the game, but you have to come over here first, so it's I guess it's a progression system. So you have to come over here. I'm just going to sprint past them all. Yeah, that's the second one. Those ones are a lot more tanky and they do a lot more damage.
Cool.
But so you have to come over here to open a door that allows you to progress further. I don't know why he's not getting hit. That's weird.
Just 940 zombies.
Yeah.
That'll take a while to go through. Your character's invincible, huh?
No, I made it so you have to be in their area for them to hit. So their swing, if you move out of the way, it doesn't hit. But if you stay there, it'll hit you.
I see.
Because I just thought it made sense. Because it didn't make sense if you moved out of the way and they hit.
Right. That looks really good.
So you have to come over here, and then there's a switch you have to do. These guys can.
That's the 3rd zombie?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Alright.
I could just do the rest in the editor. I'll show off the rest, so
Okay.
how you do it.
Yeah.
So this is just my main menu level. This just allows it so nothing's happening in the main menu, just so I don't know, it's just easier. And then this is the actual level. So this is where you spawn in, and you have to make your way over here, and then that's interesting. So you have to come in here, and then you hit this switch, and it turns on the engine, which I guess it turns on the electricity on the island. And then doing that opens this door, which allows you to go to the next section of the map. And then this is a point of interest, I guess. It has a lot of just zombies in these trees. You can't see them all, but there's a lot. And then I was gonna do a spawn system where they spawned in kind of like Spraggins did, but I just thought pre-placing was a little bit easier. But so there's just different weapons placed around. This is my favorite. Shoots very fast. But and then there's a few secrets hidden around the map. Let me see if I can find one. Yeah, right here. There's a grenade launcher in a box just on the side of this hill. And then so you have to make your way over here while fighting, and then once you go into here, it sends you to the you win screen. So I'll show you that real fast. So this is just what it sent you to, and then it allows you to exit back to the main menu so you can replay.
That's really cool. Well done. It's quite impressive.
Thank you.
You got landscape, you got trees, you got the water, fog.
The water system was a pain to work with. It was a pain. I'm not the biggest fan of it.
It does take some time to get used to. Like having it clip through the landscaping is always like the most annoying part of it, just due to how it like will interact with the landscape. Like getting it to actually look good is kind of a pain. And then the water right now is like a little jarring. Like it looks like go over there.
Looks very plasticized.
Yeah, exactly. And so, did you switch over to Gerstner waves on it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and then. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's just something to just play with the different parameters until it gets like the way you like it. Go over to the edge, the beach area over there.
Yeah, it kind of got messed up. I think yesterday I was messing with it. It was a lot more smooth, and there was also an actual beach line, but it seems to have gotten messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
So I need to. I'll go back in and fix that at some point. But this is what the beach line is supposed to look like, and it's supposed to have a smooth transition into the water, and it did have that kind of like right here, but it broke for some reason. So I'll fix that.
Did you ever like move your landscape? Because that's like the worst thing to do in Unreal Engine. Like if you drag the landscape, like and all.
I didn't. I had to mess with the water effect for this part because this is the last part I did. It was kind of. There's a little problem that was just bothering me about the waves interacting with this.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. And then it did something on the other side of the island. Yeah, the nice thing about the water system is that it's got a buoyancy system, so you can have objects like floating and bobbing in the water that just move in time with the waves. Like, there's a lot of cool things about it, but it is a fairly recent feature, and I feel like hopefully they'll kind of knock off some of the rough edges right now, because it does look kind of hokey by default, and you really have to kind of tweak it to get it just the right look, and if you do anything, then it all breaks again. Where did you get the weapons from?
Just from a free asset on the marketplace. I also have a pause system, but I can't really show it off. Actually, I think I put it so I could test it out in this menu. Hold up. Yeah, so it pauses the game, and then you can mess with settings.
Yeah.
I had a graphic setting because it was pretty easy, and it didn't take that much time, so I did that. Just, I don't know, I got bored.
Cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Go ahead and just put your whole folder onto Dropbox or something like that. And maybe I'll use it next year as a example of how cool students' projects can be.
I can also show off a few more of the weapons. 3 of them aren't done, but they're pretty close.
Okay.
I can just do that real fast.
Yeah, go for
So the weapon system, you can have 2 main guns, 1 pistol, and then that's interesting. And then you can have a melee weapon. I didn't fully implement the melee weapons yet, but I need to do that.
Yeah, the that weird that like that guy's hand like that comes from I think if your skeleton and your model don't match, then it tries to sort of fit it on, and it creates these weird like jello limbs and things.
Yeah, it's because I had to remap some animations to this so I could, for the pistol, all the other ones are usually fine, except when you look all the way down and shoot, it can sometimes mess with the animation. But other than that, it's pretty good. But the pistol, it just kind of, I don't know, I had to remap animation from the just regular mannequin, and it broke it a tiny bit. But there's all of these guns. Each of them, you can't hear, but each of them has their own audio and everything, and reload animation. And then, where's the shotgun? That's right here. This one has a lot show, but it does a lot more damage. And then it has its own separate animation.
Wow, that's really cool.
And then this isn't fully implemented yet, so it's kind of buggy, but it does, I think, 90 damage, or just, I don't know. It's a little buggy. But that's pretty much it.
Really, really good job.
Thank you.
Animation retargeting works. Yeah, it breaks. Breaks quite
Yeah,
easily.
Mixamo to the Unreal thing, it's buggy as heck. I was going to use a different asset, but it didn't work very well, so I had to do that. And then I had to manually go in and rename every bone, or remap every bone to its counterpart on the other skeleton.
Yeah.
But it kind of broke the hands because the fingers, there wasn't enough bones for I don't know, it just didn't work very well.
Right. Yeah. You could probably ignore. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. It's sort of an annoying thing. Sure. No, there's no easy. I don't know. I mean, you retargeted the skeletons, and you found there's some artifacts when you connect.
Yeah, I would just need to customly make them, and I'm not very good at animations at the moment.
Yeah, it's probably not worth your time, honestly. So, I mean, if you're going to make a professional game, sure, but for this class, hell no. All right, cool.
Yeah, it would take hours.
Very cool. All right, thank you, Gutierrez. And who would like to go next? All right, AWS is down. Cool. All right, Kano, you're up first. You said it first, then we'll do Selkie. Service operating normally. So North Virginia's down. All the other ones are working, huh? Is that what you're going with here? Is that what you're going with, Amazon? All of these things are working normally. It's just North Virginia that's having the trouble. You're telling us that our whole cloud is on North Virginia? Okay, sure. Okay, we'll go with that. All right. Yeah, sure. Still loading. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't worry about the animation. Especially since you're gonna be firing your guns and things like that. You might Yeah, maybe if you just move the pistol forward a little bit, then the bone wouldn't have that weird. I don't know.
I tried to do that, but all my weapons share the same socket. So if you move that, it moves all of them. So I would have to make a separate socket.
Separate pistol socket. Yeah, you might actually have to do that because rifles are held differently than pistols, and so if you okay. Mod for a living, bro. Yeah, good advice. Yeah, you did really job on that. Really good job on that. Swimming. I mean, where are you gonna swim to? You only have the one island, right? So.
Yeah, I was gonna add a lake in that first section they had to go to where the switch is. It just has a little, I don't know, and then have something in the middle, like a little Easter egg or something.
Yeah, like if you go the wrong way, then have it just make a, power, please establish power or something like that,
Yeah.
And then people will go like, oh, okay, I'll just turn around and try the other trail, and that's that's not bad level design. I'm kind of irritated by modern level design where you know what I'm talking about, like it's just a straight line. And you
it just holds your hand the whole way.
Yeah, and along the way it's like hit the switch. Okay, the lights are on. You go to the next one, and the door opens. And the only way that you could not do it is if you just didn't do anything. I don't know. So that notion of like you can explore around and like I kind of prefer that over the modern look. They're so afraid of losing, casual players that they just make everything so dumbed down and so easy that
it breaks the game.
Yeah, it's just not. You're just like, really, It's Final Fantasy VII is a classic example of that, where I was like, oh look, there's this. What's it called? Cosmo Canyon or something like that. And it's a town in Final Fantasy VII, and I finally got to the world map, and you're like cruising around, and you got like this hovercraft or whatever, and like I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try bypassing Cosmo Canyon. Right, I'm just not going to go in. It clearly wants me to go in. You know what I'm going to do? I am just going to bypass it and just explore the world, right? And your hovercraft breaks down. So it's like, no, no, you can't. Your hovercraft that you got to get over the rivers or whatever doesn't work anymore. Go into the town. He's just like. Hate that. I want to explore, man. Can you bridge of spirits? It's by no means open world. You have choices. Okay, yeah. I've heard a lot of good things about that. It's Switch. Is that a Switch game or is it on PC too? And Kano, you're unmuted now. PlayStation. Epic Game Store, yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay. So I just have the YouTube video for my thing. So if you could just, do you have audio set up for your Discord stream?
I do, yeah. So if you just want to, actually, I could probably pull it out of your
the chat, yeah.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll pull that out. And this is your Doom mod you're showing off.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You guys ready for this?
Yeah, I'm not getting any audio from the.
You're not hearing it?
Stream.
Okay, 1 second. How about now?
Okay, there we go.
Is that Putin? Or is that Brokeback Mountain?
It's just Ram Ranch.
It's what?
Really Ross. Ram Ranch. It's a cowboy song. But yeah, no, I just figured out if I'm gonna do something, I'll probably have to do real funny. So Figured importing custom textures and figuring out tiling for custom maps was a thing to do.
Nice.
Yeah. So the first one was the actual album cover for Ram Wrench, and I couldn't figure out why it was super stretched, and that's when I realized I had to edit every texture I was importing to like a specific size. So everything was mainly 64 by 64, and then just figured out what I was going to do with it, just pondering some orbs, different pondering orb memes. I changed the sound for the shotgun to be something different.
Yeah, we might get into like the Doom engine next semester. Depends how many students show up for IS50B and what their makeup is, because I kind of tailor 50B, but I've been wanting to do like the Doom engine, you know, like actually coding it from scratch. Like I did code something like it from scratch in the console. It's like inside of PuTTY, but I've kind of wanted to do like this.
Yeah, because it was like a lot of figuring out programs to just like edit WAD files.
Mm-hmm.
Since everything in Doom runs perfect, it's just there's a billion things to edit Doom since it's been around forever. So this was just like my idea of setting like a simple room, and then as soon as you hit the exit switch, like secret doors open up to like have more enemies come out while you're also like getting your exit from the area. And then most of it was done in like Ultimate Doom Builder, which is like a map editing thing, so you can just kind of do your thing over, I guess, this. So I renamed all these like Map 01, Map 02, like the original like map level names, and as I ran it through a different thing, it just kind of overwrote the original, or like the load order for the original maps in Doom 2, because I guess most people use like Doom 2 versus Doom 1. And then I think for this level I actually just used a different version of the was it E1 M1 song or something. I think I found somebody edited like some remix online or something like that, because you can basically just add whatever MIDI files you want.
Nice.
And then custom editing the titles first for maps, and then being able to choose which custom map next. And this
Feel
one
the
is
cringe.
special. And then I've added the Seinfeld MIDI for this one.
Amazing. So did you make this map yourself?
Yeah, all three of these maps were custom made.
Nice. And so you have to like click the lines and like
Yeah, you have to change the vertices and the size for each one.
the height.
You can
the ceiling
create
height.
sectors and everything for each thing.
It's too funny. All right, well done, Keenan. Well done. Definitely get an A. I think pandering and flattery will get you everywhere. So
Heck yeah.
good.
It was pretty fun figuring out Doom stuff. There's a lot more in-depth Doom mods. I was having a lot of hard time figuring out trying to just do swapping sprites for it. So for the most part, I didn't really do any different things other than that. Changing sound files was just something like editing the gun sounds and then having your whatever you're running it off of just overwrite the normal Doom sound files. So for pistols, I changed it to that bruh sound effect. So every time anybody the enemies, it would overwrite and just be bruh
Right.
stuff. So there's more complex ways like going over custom weapons to replace like the player's weapon, but I couldn't figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, what's interesting is how they make a 3D world out of a 2D map, right? Because like when you make it, it's all 2D, right?
Yeah.
And then it looks 3D, right? Like there's different ceiling heights and the earlier game engines with like Wolfenstein And what was the other one?
Commander Keen or something?
No, that was a 2D scroller, wasn't it? Those were all, like, the walls were all 90 degrees, right?
Yeah.
That's the original one. Yeah.
Havoc or something?
What was it called?
Havoc or something?
Was it?
I know there's different, like, things you could load in for the map editor, so it handled, like, early Quake stuff and then, like, Havoc and Doom. So it basically all depended on like what kind of WAD files you had. Since I knew I wanted to do a Doom mod, I basically bought Doom off of Steam when it was like priced really cheap for like $4 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just used those WAD files as like the base thing for those editors. And then I was able to kind of like import all those textures and then figuring out like a Slate editor to add custom textures or whatever. And then there's more you could do. Like I think you can like add scripts, so it's like custom like text as you enter the levels and like splash screens and stuff. Like I did a splash screen for like the end of like the level.
Nice.
To be that custom
The
texture
one,
and everything.
Yeah, the one where it's like made by a cool guy, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember what I'm thinking of. I thought they did something else besides Wolfenstein 3D. I could be wrong. But yeah, the Doom 2 engine especially, like, really opened up. It was almost 3D, right? It wasn't quite. But like when you were shooting there, like, it shot up at the people on the the platforms and things like that. But you're not actually moving your mouse up and down, right? Like,
yeah, it was like it's a little bit different just because I think the thing I was running it off of natively lets you move your mouse up and down. But yeah, when you would do the normal original Doom, you wouldn't be able to move like aim up and downs, but it would still be able to like hit people from a ceiling or something.
Yeah, it's because there was no vertical dimension, and so if you shot your pistol straight ahead and they're up there, it hits them. As long as the direction is correct, right? Because essentially Doom is a 2D game, right? Like you have objects moving around in a 2D thing. It's just marked as like this is 5 feet up or whatever, right? And so what you have to do is you have to create an enclosed loop, right? Whenever you do something in the Doom editor, right? You have to do the line defs and make a convex polygon, and then you give it an elevation, and you can have another convex polygon inside of it, but they can't cross, right? So you can have like a wedding cake look, but you can't have any of those lines crossing each other, right?
I think the game might have been Catacomb.
Okay.
I'm just looking at different John Carmack games.
Was that it? Okay. Yeah, I think I played that back in the day. Yeah, but it's anyhow, the rendering engine is real interesting to me, especially since nowadays like it's so basic, but I think it's almost like a good entry point into like understanding how 3D works, like in general, because that's kind of the way the industry evolved, right? Like they went into like these like maze games that were all 90-degree angles, and essentially you could do 3D like this by just showing or hiding different wall segments, and use the painter's algorithm to paint the rear ones first, you paint the near ones over it, and Adventure series. Yeah, this looks really familiar to me, but it was a long time ago, so I don't.
Yeah, I would just look at stuff John Carmack did, since he's basically like the brain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and his talks are really good too. He has a lot of talks you can see on YouTube. So if you want to understand like all these decisions that go into making games, him and
Doom is like probably the most well optimized thing ever.
Yeah, and Michael Abrash is the other. They actually brought him on board for Quake, or was it Doom 2? Quake, yeah. He wrote like sort of the Bible of 3D game engine graphics code back in the 90s, and was a master of assembly language and things like that. He works for Valve now, I think. Nope, he's at Oculus now. Okay, cool. Did he work for Valve?
Oh, did he not leave when Carmack left to go do Rocket?
Let's see. He worked at Quake. Quake is his favorite game of all time. Then he went back to Microsoft after Quake. He then moved to the Xbox team. Then went to work. These people do video rendering in games. Acquired by Intel. Then he joined Valve in 2011. Then he joined Oculus. Yeah. So I actually had an email exchange with him briefly around 2011, then something like that. Because he posted onto his blog like a question about how filtering, like when you shake your head in VR, you've got this headset, you shake it around, and there's a latency between the tracker sensor reporting it and the graphics engine getting the updated position, and then there's a rendering delay into putting the frame out that has to be transmitted to the headset, and there's enough latency that you can get sick. Like it can cause motion sickness. And so he asked how other people had solved it, and so I told him how my boss had solved it. I didn't come up with the solution. My boss did at Kaiser Electro-Optics, the company I worked for, and yeah. So I just had a little exchange with him. A little bit starstruck. I didn't tell him that, but like him and Carmack are like the two gods really of the 3D world. The Unreal guy also. Obviously.
Yeah,
But,
I kind of just wanted to make the Doom mod just because it's like Doom kind of set the standard for like FPS, and I thought it would be like a cool jumping off point just because it's like one of the first things that I think people like making mods for. So
yeah.
it's like there's got to be like a billion mod tools just for it, and like all these resources to get behind it. I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting how there's like so much actually more documentation on the Doom 2 engine than there is on Quake. Even though Quake is a true 3D engine, it's really frustrating for me because like I'll like try to figure out like how Quake does something, and I do a search on YouTube and it turns up my own videos. And I'm like, am I really the only person talking about this on YouTube? Like, come on. Like, there's a guy called like Trench Broom or Dump Truck or I don't know, something like that. There's some people that do mapping for Quake, but as far as like the actual engine details, like the Doom 2 engine's actually a lot more documented in my opinion. You can find out literally everything about it, and so like my thought is for 50B next semester, if you guys are interested in it, if you sign up for it and you're interested in it, then we might recreate some of that from scratch, which would be kind of fun, I think. Okay, so well done, Kano. A round of applause, and it's I like it. And that was your mod. Okay.
Yep.
Do you have the game to show off to you?
I didn't do it, so.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's an easy grade, I guess. All right. So it was Selkie who wants to go next. Unmute. Cameron, you there? You're muted right now.
You hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome. So I just push share screen.
Yep. Share your screen.
Okay.
And yeah, if you guys go onto Dropbox or whatever and just upload the whole folder of stuff, everything that I need to look at it, and then just send me the link, I guess, on private message or on Canvas or either way. Any way I can download it. I keep an archive of student projects. Yeah, you can just copy the entire folder over if you want. It's going to be colossal, quite potentially, but
This is what I did right here.
um,
Or Quake, my mod.
Yeah, let me pull that up. Quake mapping. Yeah, there's guys. Actually, Discord is probably the best resource right now for doing Quake modding, simply because guys like Spike are on Discord servers and are quite responsive to questions and things like that. It's just, as far as like actual documentation of the engine itself, like it's sort of annoyingly sparse on the ground. All right. Why is it not coming? I've got it popped out. No, not you. There we go. I lost it. Let's snap that over there. And full screen. And okay. Take it away, Silky.
I'm doing my mod first. This is the parts I added to the devs.qc file.
Mhm.
I added the damages of each weapon I could find.
Flamethrower. Okay. Incinerate cannon. Okay. Is that all of the weapons though?
It's only the weapons I could find.
Okay. So you just pulled them out of the QC files and put them here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Easy enough. All right. Round of applause for Selkie. Do you have your game to show off?
Yeah, I do. Do I like stop sharing screen and share the other screen?
Yeah, that's the easiest way.
Okay, 1 second.
What is IP grabbed?
Um,
All right. See it. What's the premise of your game?
it's like the thing I could come up with was zombies, but it takes place all inside
Okay.
the buildings. Like this one's an office building, and you have to escape all of the buildings in order to win.
All right. Take it away.
I added teleporters.
Hmm.
Just help
Nice.
you get to new levels.
It looks like the meshes on these guys are a little bit.
Yeah, they're a little bit stretched.
Yeah. Your stairway is a little bit too vertically high, so
I
each
know.
each step is greater than your step height.
Yeah, kinda. Bunny hop. I had a real hard time figuring out why my enemies weren't taking damage.
Hmm.
It's a real problem. So much so that I restarted the whole thing a couple times. Hmm.
Interesting.
There you go.
So you got to wait for the door to open while the zombies are all attacking you.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Looks good. Round of applause, everybody, for Selkie. Any comments? Yeah, Stack Overflow is super annoying. The main issue I have with it isn't actually the closed question or marked as deleted or don't. Why would you do that? Like the common criticisms. My biggest issue with it is that when you search for something on Stack Overflow, the top hit that comes out is the bad code. Right? Like how do I make a Gregorian calendar in Java? And you search for it, and Stack Overflow comes up, and you click on it, and there's a bunch of code there with Gregorian calendar, and you're like, oh, I'll just copy. That's the person asking the question because they can't get it to work, right? And so it's like, okay, I can't just use this, right? Because it's not working for some reason. And then you have to like look through the comments, and they're like, oh, you need to change that to this. And then so you have to copy the code and like look at it, and then somebody else will respond, no, that doesn't work anymore. That was Java 7 only. And you're like, oh, damn it, and you're like it's sort of inverted. You know what I mean? Like in other answer forums, like the top answer, the pinned answer is like front and center. And on Stack Overflow, sure, the top answer is at the top, but usually the first thing you see when you come in is a big block of code, and they just kind of patch it, So, yeah, and then on top of that, it's an incredibly toxic community. So, why would you want to do that? You shouldn't do that.
Like League of Legends, just full of toxicity.
Yeah. It's good for your spirit to just avoid it, I think. All right, thank you, Selkie. All right, we got 17 minutes left in class. Zach, you want to go next? Zach is working for the biology department. Sorry, I told you all he works for the physics department. He works for the biology department at Berkeley now, doing programming. So, very cool. He's a graduate of our program here. Oh, damn it. Never mind. That's Matt Muller. Okay, never mind. Sorry. All right, Hazelton, you wanna show off your stuff? Sounds like modding Starbound took you 2 months to get started. Yeah, it's the entry point to modding on some things can be quite tough. Like Grand Theft Auto, we saw last Friday, was it? Week ago Friday. Just how much it takes to just get into it, to begin with. All right, Hazelton is muted. Maybe no, you're not muted.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay, we can hear you.
Okay.
All right, take it away.
So let me know if you can't hear me.
I can hear you.
All right. So my game I chose to make is kind of inspired by 2 different games. One was the first-person shooter that I grew up playing is Unreal Tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any of you recognize this tower. Kind of looks similar to Unreal Tournament 99. There's a world called Facing Worlds, actually. It was basically a huge tower facing another tower, which I didn't get to. But anyways, the tower was inspired by that game, and also I chose to take something from another game called Counter-Strike Global Offensive. I don't know if any of you have played the Bunny Hop game. What is it called? It's called... well, there's 2 different things. There's the bunny hopping, and then there's the climbing maps called the KZ maps. I chose to do the climbing maps, and it's kind of took a little bit from both the bunny hop and climbing.
Okay.
All right.
Fire.
Lighting effects. Yeah, so the lightning is actually a free pack on
Nice.
the store.
Very cool.
You can actually. I think I saw Jeffrey used it as well. Yeah. So you could actually change it lightning. There's actually like a nighttime, sunny.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of cool stuff in there.
That's very cool.
But anyways, I built a HUD for it. It tracks your time, and Counter Strike Go. When you jump and you move around, your movement speed actually increases. So I try to incorporate that as well.
Nice.
So every time you jump, your movement speed increases. And if you don't keep the jumping going, you lose everything.
The time starts when you enter the door. Or...
So I made a little help screen. Basically, you have to go over this red area,
Mhm.
and then once you leave the red area, your time starts.
Ah, cool. Nice.
So this is the climbing map. So basically, you have to.
The clock's ticking, dude. Go.
And I also did make a checkpoint system. So every time that you jump from box to box, it saves your checkpoint.
Literally every box is a checkpoint. Okay.
Every box, yeah.
All right. That's cool.
And
Oh, nice. Ah, you teleport to the next one.
yeah, so you press. So the help screen tells you press T to teleport to the most recent checkpoint, and you can also press R to reset back to that red area.
Gotcha.
And then to bring up the menu, just press and hold H.
Mhm.
So let's keep going here. I actually played this quite a bit, and like my best time was like a minute and a half or something.
Nice.
But yeah, this is mostly inspired from Counter Strike Go. You can see there's kind of like it's kind of buggy. Like even if you barely touch it, you're saving the checkpoint.
Yeah. So you just kind of brush it on the way down.
Right.
Good.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah, it looks cool.
Let me, since I'm failing really hard right now, let me go to. So I just tried to make this tower like as epic as I could,
Mhm.
and then at the end there's a stairway to heaven. I like to call it. And then the end game points. This is just a little HUD at the end. It saves your time, and it shows the end game screen with your time and how many checkpoints that you used.
Does it write it to disk?
No, I wanted to get to that. I wanted to like do a little leaderboard or something.
Yeah.
That would
yeah.
have been cool.
It is cool. There are tutorials on how to do that. It's not too bad.
Yeah, and trying to think what else.
That's awesome. So basically, every time you hit a, does it? What if you went backwards? Would it checkpoint you backwards?
Actually, yeah, it will.
Okay.
It's just a box collision, and it's set to.
It sets its position to be it sets the player's variable or something.
Right, I could have
Disabled it after.
Maybe disabled the ones before.
Yeah, well, every time you checkpoint, you just turn that. You just delete yourself afterwards, and then you won't re-checkpoint if you happen to move backwards. You know.
Yeah.
Ah,
Any questions?
looks really cool.
Thank you.
Platforming is a thing. Ah,
And if you fall off the map, it just sends you back to the start.
nice. How did you determine if they leave the map? Do you have
A kill zone.
kill zone? Okay.
Yeah, I used a kill zone.
And then how do you move the player back to the start?
To the start?
Yeah, can you show the code for that to reset
Yeah,
the
let me
player?
see. Where is it? I used a fall volume. I think it's right here. Let's see. So yeah, just cast a first-person character and then set their transform. I did save the player start
Yeah. Okay.
on the actual player itself.
Mhm.
Let me see if we can bring that
So
up.
when, on begin play, you set it, and then if you ever die, you just reset, and
Yeah,
there's no health or anything like that. So it just boop.
yeah. So I actually just have a player start transform, And this is also where I saved the timer at.
It's interesting that your checkpoint is done that way, because really all you have to do is just save the transform of the box trigger, right? And so you know what I mean? Like right now you're using the load and save.
Yeah, it's probably a little more complicated than it has to be.
Than it had to be, yeah, because each of the boxes has an origin, and if that origin's over the step, then you could just use that as your checkpoint, and and then you could just destroy yourself after you checkpoint. So
yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's cool. No, the system
Let's
works.
see. Enemies on the way up. Yeah, enemies would be pretty cool on the way up.
Yeah,
could have a little more color. Yeah, I kind of just went with the boxes are actually different colors. If I remember right, this one's different colors. That I could have chosen a little bit more, I guess.
yeah, cool. All right, well then, Hazel.
Thank you.
And then your mod
Does it have bimboed?
does have been moved.
I should have done an HJKL. The mod, could I show it on Thursday?
Sure.
Possibly?
Yeah, we're almost out of time here. Anyway.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, well done, sir. Oh, I just deleted your score. All right. There we go. All right. Let's just call it here today, guys. So we don't have time for another presentation. So yeah, show your mod, show your game on Thursday, and we'll have more time as well because I have to do a tenure review for another professor right now. So I need to get to that. Yeah, really well done. I'm impressed by all of you. You guys all worked hard on it, and makes me happy to see you learned something this semester. So I don't know. We got a couple minutes before I have to go. Do you guys feel a little more comfortable about making video games and mods and things like that at the end of the semester than at the beginning? You can use UE4 to put something together, and you shouldn't feel too comfortable about making a game from scratch, like no engine, text, notepad, hello world, go. Nah. Yeah, like using the tools out there, using assets, being able to put something together. It's a fun hobby. It's a fun. It's like for me, it's like I could either play games or I could make games. You know what I mean? And it's kind of weird. Like games like Minecraft and Valheim and Conan Exiles to a certain extent sort of sit in between the two, right? Because when you're playing Minecraft, you're still building, right? And so it sort of scratches that itch to be creative and like make things, you know, without actually having to be a game programmer, you know. And so I think that the game modding is like the next step beyond Minecraft, you know. And like my daughter sees Unreal Engine as like a game, right? Because it's like Valheim. In Valheim, you build walls and make stairs and things like that. And she'll just like, oh, Daddy, can I play Unreal Engine? And she'll put walls out there and build a water temple with waterfalls and all this kind of stuff. And it's just a game for her. It's like Minecraft, you know. But I'm like, this is a marketable skill, girl. You could actually, you know, get a job doing this. She's like, I don't want to do this for a job. I just want to do it for fun. And I'm like, okay, yeah, like, yeah. I want to make games for fun, not for a living. Okay, sure, I feel that, you know. So she wants to build a PC though. Yeah, she helps me whenever I tear down my PC and things like that. I have her like, you know, pull out the parts and screwdriver in the all-in-one water pump, water cooler, you know, stuff like that. So hobby for a job, yeah. Yeah, and then, you know, but the thing is, like, you know, your first games you make, you know, just have fun with them, make them, don't expect to sell them, you know, and what happens is that you build your skill over the years, you know, the more you do, the better you get at it. The more things you learn, the more capable you are. And nothing what we did here really translates into like game engine programming. I mean, you kind of have to understand how a game engine works to program a game engine, but like there's a lot of math. You know, there's a lot of math that goes into making a game engine work. And what I taught you guys with the linear algebra and the colors and things like that is the kind of stuff you need to know. Like just because you can't. There's a lot like you can't make backstabbing code if you don't understand dot product, right, or cross product. Like that's like the minimum you have to understand in order to make games. But like if you want to make game engines, then you're making the functions to figure out where's my forward vector. If I have a rotation, where's my forward vector? And there's sines and cosines and trig and this is creating a transformation matrix using the upright and forward vectors, right? And so when you get into it, Fresno State has 191, which does OpenGL programming. It's at a lower level than what I teach here. This is an IS class. It's not supposed to be like computer science per se. It's more practical, I guess. Yeah. So you can dive as deep into this kind of stuff that you want. I know Walker is like interested in the Walker Leaf, I guess. So. Bell, you made like a quad tree collision system, right, for your like lane-based PvP thing. Cry when I think how much I spent on your 3060. Yeah, the 40 series is coming. It's coming, and they're saying it's going to ease up mid next year. So we'll see. Yeah, so there's all sorts of things you can learn. So I would encourage all of you guys to take 50B if you're into. If you had fun this semester, take it next semester. And every semester I've taught 50B, it's been different. It just really depends on the people in the class. And so we'll figure out some area of interest that you have, like whatever. We always do level design and narrative storytelling and some other things. But basically, like I was saying, like if you guys are into Doom, we could like do a Doom engine kind of thing. If you're into this kind of mathy stuff. Walker's been trying to get me to do Unreal Engine C++ for a long time, and I just like Blueprints so much better than doing the C++ coding in it that I've just been resisting that. But if you guys wanted to do C++ coding in Unreal Engine, we could do that. There's just how you draw lines, how you draw triangles. How you do acceleration structures to do ray tracing, and like there's just all this math and line intersections, line box intersection, line sphere intersection, box sphere intersection, like all that kind of lower level stuff you haven't needed to worry about because you can just do on event hit right in Unreal Engine. It kind of figures it out for you. You do line tracing in Unreal Engine. You don't have to figure this out. The Unreal Engine has all this stuff built in. You can just throw a ray through the world and see what you hit. So, a lot of options out there. Anyway, it's 3 o'clock. I gotta go. I gotta do a tenure review. So, see you guys on Thursday. All right, peace out.